In today's episode, we discuss how Clover Canada has absolutely changed the payment processing market. Nayeib, a sales representative from Clover, outlines how Clover Canada is at the forefront of empowering businesses to thrive by providing cost-effective and high-quality business solutions. Get ready for a deep dive into the world of commerce. Awesome. So we've got Nayeib here. I feel like Nayeib, I've known you for 5 years now at this point, I think 5+ years, which is crazy to think about. So we had we had an awesome conversation at one weekend, just talking about your job with Clover, how much you're learning from it, and how much you're learning from small businesses like ourselves, especially as spa and salon too. I feel like some of the points you had where Clover is really starting to develop software, partnering with other softwares, customer service, price points, that kind of thing. What are some of the reasons that you decided to work with Clover? And you've been with them for quite some time now.
Yeah, I've been with them for a very long time. I've been with the company almost 7 years now, always with different departments, but Clover kind of got introduced to the market about 5 years ago, and it really changed the game. We're the first company that we built out our own hardware, our own software, our own processing. So when I saw them kind of changing the game and really kind of revolutionizing payment processing, I decided this would be a good place to kind of grow my career with Clover.
Amazing. And their machines, I feel like that's something I get the most amount of compliments at the spa is how easy the machine is to work. I love that there's a dollar percentage, the actual dollar when tipping, things like that. It's so user friendly as well.
That was big. So our R&D team, when they were kind of coming out with the system there, first they wanted to make it look sleek, like a white terminal. Now, if you've noticed, all our competitors have those white terminals everywhere now. Yeah, in terms of that UI, it was definitely something they prioritized. So just ease of access, how to use a terminal, making sure everything is functional and again easy to kind of process. So whether you're tech savvy or you don't know how to type properly, wherever you land, we make sure that we can kind of take care of you with a very simple terminal to use.
Amazing. And also you've worked in all the different departments. What are some of your most favorite departments you've worked in at Clover?
So I started from the ground floor. So started in tech support and then worked my way to some of the back end operations sort of side on the back end with the hardware services. Eventually I found myself with the escalation team, which is kind of a good way to kind of get a good balance of everything. So I'm learning all the different aspects of the business. And just recently, last couple of years, I moved to the front of house, as I say, at the restaurant. I moved into the sales team. So, like I said, that was honestly the last couple of years have been awesome as well too. I really love kind of helping people just figure out what their pain points are with what they kind of have right now, and just giving them a solution that's not only affordable but fixes all their pain points as well.
Amazing. Yeah, that's something I find I really love about, well, I feel like I have VIP service dealing with you, but there's no dumb question. Even when we were looking at signing on, you were really transparent. Let's see if this is going to work for you. And going through all of the payments that we have gone through, the reports in the back end, that kind of thing, which is so refreshing to actually know that you care that whether it's going to work or not as a customer.
Exactly. We've got the highest retention percentage in the space right now, right? So the reason being for that is we don't force anything down people's throats. We have a good product, we have a good software package and great pricing. So with all that kind of combined, if you notice with you, you have an online platform, you have a physical store, you have a bunch of different things there. Where we could help you, I definitely went and did that. In other spaces that you already have kind of streamlined and it's already perfect, I didn't want to play around with that too much. So, like I said, we take care of your needs as they come, and we're not trying to oversell you on anything else.
Now, is there one specific kind of is it more restaurants you're dealing with? Is there a higher percentage of businesses you're dealing with Clover mostly? Or I guess
So
it would
we
be mostly
can
service based is my guess.
actually, that's a great question. We're in a lot of different verticals, right?
Okay.
So obviously restaurants, counter service restaurants, that's sort of our bread and butter. We do table service restaurants as well too, but we're really into the service space as well too. As you noticed, we picked up partners to help us with that space. So between us and Cojilio, I think you've had Nicole here on in the past, but
Yeah.
between both of us there, we can kind of service almost The way I kind of put it there, if you have a service, any sort of business, and you're just taking credit cards from your clients or payments from your clients, we can help you with that. It's just a matter of me finding out what you need from us and just figuring out the right partnership groups to make that work.
Amazing. Now, for our listeners too, who are thinking about switching to Clover, what are some of the things that makes you stand out to the rest? I know you've kind of mentioned a few throughout this already, but what are some of the like pillars that they definitely should look into?
So a couple of things, like I said, we've got amazing hardware, as you've noticed. There's a ton of redundancy in there, so you're always going to be able to take payments, which is important for businesses, right? So on top
Mhm.
of it being a really easy terminal to use, you can use Wi-Fi, there's a built-in SIM card, there's all these sort of functionality that we have on the hardware side. As
Mhm.
you've noticed, our software package is also it's solid. It's amazing on the back end as well too. If, for example, you're reporting, if you need invoices, all that kind of stuff, a lot of the admin stuff from the old school terminals, we kind of do all for you just on a cloud-based system. So that's also a big perk. And like I said, lastly, our pricing is not only competitive, we beat most people on pricing there. So between all three, like between those three things there, Clover is just kind of dominating the market right now.
Yeah, I feel like when I get all these sales calls like, "Oh, we'd like to add you to our terminal," or would you switch payment processors?" Basically, once I say I'm working with Clover, the conversation kind of slowly
Yeah, it kind of
dissipates after that.
because most people know that they can't either they can't match the quality of the product, or they can't match the pricing. So most people,
Mhm.
if you've noticed, you tell them you're working with Clover, they'll kind of just disengage with you and try and move on to the next person.
Can you go into a little bit more detail about like the SIM card without the SIM, like the whole thing, if the power outage, all those kind of things, to make sure that we're still being able to take those payments if there's something going on? I know there was like that big Rogers outage like quite a while ago, like little things like that that your team's able to
It
work
makes a
through.
difference. Yeah. So
Yeah.
with our terminal there, it's Wi-Fi based, all our terminals primarily. Okay.
Hmm.
You can hotspot it to your data on your phone as well too, if you ever need to in a pinch. Lastly, all of our terminals do come with a built-in SIM card. That SIM card is also Rogers and Bell SIM card, and it's just
Oh,
there as a
perfect.
backup. You're not paying for it. You're not. It's just there, and then if something happens, you can activate it right there on the spot and use it as well.
I
Okay.
didn't know about the
The
hotspot feature. That's interesting. So if you're like remote working somewhere at like a trade show or something, you could do that.
Yeah, so if you have an awesome data plan, it's only a couple kilobytes per transaction, so it's not a lot of data is taking up, and you can always just hotspot it to your phone if you don't want to use our built-in SIM card, either the Rogers or
Okay.
Bell side. So it's just like I said, we thought things thoroughly, like when the R&D team was kind of building things out, and redundancy is important. Like you guys, we can't afford for you guys not to take payments, right? Like you can't have
Hmm.
a day without taking payments. So
Hmm.
it's just nice. For example, you brought up the Rogers situation last year, so when Rogers went out, a lot of people were kind of hard pressed, right? Like you couldn't take payments that day.
And who
Now,
carries cash around anymore either? So
nobody does. Exactly. Exactly. So the cool thing about us, we kind of figured out what happened, that it wasn't us, it was Rogers that's having an issue. All our clients that were on Bell were having no problems. So what we did was we put out an email blast letting people know this is how you this is how you activate your SIM card, and this is how you activate the Bell side of the SIM card, right?
oh,
So
okay.
most of our clients within, again, depends on kind of where you were in the country, but most of our clients were back up within an hour. So that whole day where other business, imagine you're a coffee shop and there's three coffee shops on your street,
Yeah.
right? That day, most of our customers were doing well. Actually, they did more volume than normal because all the
Hmm.
other coffee shops that were down, people went to their shops. So
Hmm.
on top of those physical redundancies with the SIM card, there's also the laptop or the dashboard on your phone. You can also take
Yes.
transactions that way, which is a nice backup to have. So there's redundancies built on redundancies. Like this has been well thought out from the R&D side, and they know kind of what you guys need as a business. And honestly, you guys can't, in today's world, you guys can't spend a day without taking payments.
Are you tired of juggling appointments, chasing down payments, managing your business all at once? Well, beauty brands, I've got some exciting news for you. Allow me to introduce Cojilio, the ultimate solution for appointments-based businesses like yours. Cojilio is here to help you the way you handle bookings and payments. Whether you're a salon owner, a fitness instructor, a therapist, or anyone who relies on appointments, Cojilio has got you covered. With Cojilio, you can easily streamline your appointment process. Say goodbye to all those endless back and forths trying to find suitable time. Your clients can now book appointments hassle-free right from your phone or computer. But that's not all. Cojilio takes it to the next level with payment processing too. No more awkward conversations of chasing down appointments as well as payments. It's all integrated seamlessly, making sure you get paid on time every time. And guess what? Our listeners are now in for a treat. When you sign up for Cojilio subscription, make sure you use the promo code Behind the Brand to enjoy a fantastic 15% off. That's right, 15% off all subscriptions, just being a part of our beauty brand community. So here's your chance to get this seasonal promo just starting out with Cojilio and all your needs. One solution to supercharge your business. Visit Cojilio.com today to learn more and take advantage of this exclusive offer. Thanks so much for listening. Let's get back to our episode. Well,
That's
even
definitely
what was it last week when the whole visa thing, there was that where we weren't able to take, was it Visa or I can't remember what it was, Visa or debit or something. And we messaged you right away. And I think your team had that figured out like within an hour of
Yeah,
what
there
was
was a
going on
slight
there.
issue with Interac, or I believe it was Interac a couple weeks ago. And like I said, we got a couple calls. We knew there was an issue. We addressed it. I think I had you up within 30 minutes or 45 minutes
Yeah,
of
it
the
was
initial
super
call. So
quick. Hmm.
yeah,
And
so
then
that's
I'm
all.
like, did we do something to our terminal? I'm thinking like, oh, it's probably error issue or something.
No, no, no. It was just a small software update, but these things happen in the real
Hmm.
world. Like business isn't smooth. Sometimes there's going to be little
Oh yeah.
hiccups. It's more about how we address those issues, right? So,
Hmm.
like with me, I know you mentioned the VIP service, but I treat all my clients the same way. So if there's a
Yeah.
problem, we try and address it as soon as possible, and try and get you guys back up. Because at the end of the day, we want you guys to be able to be a successful business, and we can't, like I said, we don't want you guys to be down for any sort of long periods of time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Last thing we also pride ourselves on is if there's any actual physical issues that we can, if first thing we do, as you've noticed, I've done it a couple of times with you, we can actually remote into your system and fix that problem for you. So I've done that a couple of times with you. If there's either, Nayeib, I need to change the percentages on my tip, Nayeib, I need to do this, always there for you.
Hmm.
And like I said, we also have a 4 to 6 hour business replacement. So for example, you call me in the morning, night, my printer is not working, we need a replacement. If you're within, like I said, within 100 kilometers of any major city, we can have a technician out to you within 6 hours and to swap out that unit for you.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's what I really like about even like, well, it's usually at the end of the day, or there's some issue that we hatch around your lunch, like on our lunch hour, trying to get things fixed. Cause I mean, we're working within our businesses. And then, yeah, having you being able to remotely go in and help us with some of these changes is ideal. Cause it's daunting for us because that is your world. We know our world. And then going in and playing around with a payment processing machine is a little daunting, but I love that feature for sure, that remote takeover of the machine.
Of the machine, right? That was something like I mentioned why when you initially asked me why am I with Clover, we're innovative with things like this. This is something we realized, like just being able to log in and show you guys how to do things on the terminal just makes it easier. So once I show you how to, change pricing on your inventory, you guys know how to do that. So if you ever want to update your pricing, it's very UI friendly. You guys can do that later. But the ability to remote in and kind of take care of that for you is definitely something that I said it's a big perk coming with Clover as well.
Definitely. And even when it comes to like the barcoding, can you talk a little bit more about that barcoding feature as well?
Yeah, so we have a ton of different ways to kind of set you guys up, right? So like I said, we're very flexible here at Clover. So we also do our own software packaging. Initially, when I set you up, it was pretty straightforward, just like payments only. Like somebody comes to your terminal, it's $100 service. You punch in $100, you run the transaction, right? But then as we talked, you said, "No, you know what? We do have a retail setup here. There's some items we'd like to have it in there." And I just mentioned you can just upgrade the software in the back end. So we upgraded your software. You were able to enter your pricing. You were able to enter your cost, right? So which would give us like automatically we're sort of generating
Yeah.
revenue numbers and margin numbers for you already. And then lastly, with that there, we can put in like a barcode attached to any sort of items you guys have, which now allows you, instead of your terminal just being a basic terminal now, it's more of a point of sale. It's more of like a cash register system. So like I said, it's more me addressing. So if you were to come to me as a new client, I'll just figure out what you need and where you're hoping to go and just kind of set you up with the right software package to take care of that for you.
Yeah, and that's what I love is it's so diverse. Like there's so many things you can do within that simple terminal. Like we don't even have this fancy, the POS, the large screen, like we just have the terminal. And I think that's where I was saying to a couple of my friends, I think you had spoke to my friend Robin as well as switching over. And it's just the simplicity of it. Like even the seamless from changing over from our past merchant that we were dealing with to the new one. And it's just so much easier to switch back and forth. and with that
Yeah, we
customer
found a
service as well.
exactly same thing. I think we signed up Robin. Thank you for sending over that
Yeah,
referral
no
as well.
worries.
I
Yeah.
think we took care of Robin as well. But like I said, it's just you tell me what you need and we'll find something. And like I said, price, well, we make sure the price makes sense as well. So I know that the like I said, it really depends on your needs, whether it's the SIM card you need, you're in a you're in a bad area with not too much Wi-Fi, like whatever it
Mhm.
is, we can kind of fix that for you on the back end. Lastly, we have a ton of great partners as well. So depending on what your needs are. For example, we have a great reporting system internally that can kind of give you out Excel sheets with every sort of report you can imagine, your items report, your sales report, whatever it might be, employee report. However, if you do want to, maybe you're using QuickBooks for your day-to-day business, right? You're tracking everything in QuickBooks. We have an integration with QuickBooks where all your reports will head over to QuickBooks. So you
Mhm.
kind of tell me what you're using and we'll make your life easier on the back end because the less time you're spending doing the admin work that comes with running a business, the more time you have for friends and family and focusing on growing your business. So
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever met a business owner that enjoys doing the paperwork side of things. So
no, no one
the
does. No one
admin,
does.
exactly. And
Exactly.
now
So
speaking of partnerships and stuff too, with Cojilio, I know like we had said, we've had Nicole on and talking about it, but do you want to elaborate a little bit more on the collaboration that Clover has with Cojilio?
yeah, so we had so Cojilio was obviously we needed a partner, someone to help us with scheduling, someone to help us with booking, taking deposits for and on top of that there I think Nicole's kind of detailed what she kind of does as well too. Like
Hmm.
you can take pictures ahead of time so in case that way if there's any upcharges. Like there's all these little unique things. She's great in that space and we needed a partner, right? So there's already some big names in that space already that are like I said, they've been around for years. They're legacy sort of businesses like Vagaro and some of these other ones here. We
Hmm.
needed something a little bit more affordable, something that made sense for a starting business or something along those lines. And Nicole and her team kind of came to the space, and I think my team lead Patrick there kind of got a hold of them, and from there we just set up a partnership where we're now fully integrated with Cojilio. So
Hmm. And I
get a
love that it's
Clover.
Canadian, like, and a Toronto based, because that's where we were dealing with all the software companies I really liked and was
Mhm.
enjoying were based out of the States, other than when we had Acuity with Squarespace and stuff, like that was
Mhm.
great. But then turning into a Medi Spa, like you and I were having that conversation, and that's where it all kind
Mhm.
of made sense of this full circle of bringing all of these features on.
Exactly, right. So that was the big thing we were finding as well too. There's a ton of American companies in the space. They're charging you in USD.
Hmm.
It's 4 or 5 times on average, it's literally 4x what Nicole and the Cojilio packages kind of come
Yeah.
out to, right? So whenever I see someone on one of these old school like booking platforms, I know you're kind of used to it because you've been with them for so long, but it's one of
Hmm.
those things where it really makes sense to look at Cogilio. It really makes sense to look at Nicole. And the great thing is with her and us, everything talks to each other, right? So we're running the transactions, we're handling your in-person sort of retail setup or medi spa setup, and then on the back end, she's taking care of your online needs, right? I
Hmm.
mean, when she first kind of came out, it was just for a couple of dollars a day, you get a receptionist, right? So now
Yeah.
I know you have a bigger shop, but if you're a one person shop or a two-person shop where you guys are constantly dealing with clients, you maybe don't have the time to answer all those calls and answer all those emails. And that's where Cogilio kind of comes into play, right? They'll
Hmm.
come in, they'll take care of your booking, they'll take care of your scheduling, they'll book you with your girls or whoever's kind of taking care of your services. They'll do all the admin work required to kind of take care of that there. And they've got a
Hmm.
great loyalty program as well too.
Oh,
So the
definitely.
combination of that kind of comes in. It's a really, like I said, it's a solid program, and I'm glad we lined up with Nicole. And it's a family run shop there too. And as you know,
Hmm.
it's a customer service is amazing over there too. So if you have an issue, normally within 10-15 minutes, you can get an email back or a call back addressing that
Hmm.
concern, right? So
Hmm.
it was a win-win
Definitely.
for everyone involved.
And there's so many features, like even like a follow-up appointment feature, which we like when we first opened, when it was just myself for the longest time. And then when we started adding stuff on, we still couldn't afford a receptionist. And that's where like when we are on this podcast and talking about the stages you're in your business, that you don't need to
Mhm.
rush and go get a receptionist. This is kind of like what
No,
you're saying, that easy fix for the time being of
yeah.
having a
And
software system that works for you and your business.
exactly. And just like I said, for a couple of dollars a day, depending on what package you go with Nicole, you get that receptionist. And I really want to kind of people to think about how much business you might be losing if you don't have someone to answer those emails, to answer
Yes.
those calls promptly, right? Like we live in a society where, attention
Impulse.
span isn't long. Exactly. So I might
Mhm.
want to buy your services and sign up for your services. You have a 5 or 10 minute window to kind of book them in, or if I'm not getting a proper response, you just find the next person on the Google search, right?
Exactly.
But with
And even the packages, like she's got the packages, loyalties, the subscriptions, like literally everything you need to
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 whatever your business is, if
yeah,
you need
whatever it
scheduling, if
is.
you need booking, and that's where also I think Clover also, like, we have an app store, right? And Nicole is
Yes.
one of those apps that we have. So whatever your needs are, if we can't fix everything or deal with everything directly, we have a partner that's directly in our shop that can help you with that, whatever those needs are. So
Mhm.
that's where I kind of circle back to the beginning of the conversation. Whatever kind of your needs are, I'll figure them out for you, and then we'll just address them in a conscious way to kind of address those needs of yours.
Are you like me and every other entrepreneur on this planet, trying to make things as simple and easy as possible, even when it comes to your health? Goli apple cider vinegar gummies can help. Use promo code NickManion at checkout for 10% off your order. For those looking for a different take on apple cider vinegar, Goli apple cider vinegar gummies contain all the old school benefits of traditional apple cider vinegar in an easy take gummy form. Their products are vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, and gelatin-free. Taste the apple, not so much the vinegar. 2 gummies contain 1 apple cider vinegar shot. Now, don't forget to use promo code NickManion at checkout for 10% off. Amazing. Now, what are some of the things when you are dealing with a new customer potentially coming on to Clover? What are some of the kind of hesitance they have or questions that they may have coming to you regarding switching to Clover?
So payment processing isn't something that's on people's minds, right? So kind of
Hmm.
once they set something up, you kind of go with them till you figure out that you could probably do better, or someone you trust actually
True.
explains things to you. And it's one of those things, if the money's gonna show up in the bank, I find a lot of customers don't even look at their statements, or maybe don't even look at their statements, but don't understand their statements, right?
Hmm.
It's kind of convoluted on the back end, what am I paying? What am I paying to Visa? What am I paying to this? What am I paying to that? So the first thing I kind of try to do is address that. Like, look, let's take a look at your statement, let's do a review, and let's just kind of see what you're doing, right?
Hmm.
This is obviously after I've decided, after we've kind of talked about your needs. Like, are you need something mobile? Are you like a food truck where you need a cash register on the go? Is this like a sit down restaurant where you need like some hubs and you need some wireless terminals for the table? So once we kind of address all that there, we kind of delve into who are you with right now, what are you finding your pain points are with them. So before we kind of get into anything, and more times than not, I'll book a demo with you. So the same way that
Yes.
we can virtually turn into it, we'll book that demo. Like, I'm gonna have you go through a test drive with our system just to make sure that we are a good fit, right? And
Hmm.
so, like I said, Clover doesn't want you to sign up with us and be unhappy a month down the line because, oh, I didn't know we could do this or that. So
Hmm.
once we book you in for that demo, once we kind of go through what we do, once we kind of take a review of what you're currently paying, it's normally an easy win at that point. People are just like, you know what, I'm getting a better product, a better solution, better customer service, and a cheaper price point. It sells itself at that point.
Hmm. And I think because you're not having to like push that sale, it's more of like, okay, this is what we can offer. This is going to work with you. It's not like that pushy sales where you feel like they're just coming at you as like a number, as a
Exactly.
customer.
It's
Yeah,
one of
you
those things.
truly want to know how our business operates.
Yeah, so we want like a consultative approach. That's something we pride ourselves on here at Clover, is like, can we help you, right? Like, for example, with you, what can I help you with? And then once we
Hmm.
figure out what we can help you with, then we talk about, all right, this is what we have for you, and this is the pricing for it, and let's see if it makes sense for you, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
like I said, more times than not, it really does. So we don't have to be pushy here traditionally. Like, we don't have to kind of chase people down. It's normally we put our best foot forward, and people kind of just, it makes sense for most people, right? So
And it's easy to sell a good product, right? Like
it
people
really
come
is.
to you and it just happens naturally for sure.
Exactly. And then once you have a good rapport with someone, it's easy. It's for them, it's word of mouth, right? That's kind
Hmm.
of a big thing with us as well, too. You'll tell a couple people, you know what, I had a great experience here and so on. This is my guy. And like I
Hmm.
said, we have the highest retention rates in the market. So there's a reason for that. Most people are
Yes.
happy with us. and most people are referring us constantly to their friends and neighbors, and we have a referral program here as well too. So for anyone you guys kind of suggest and bring on, we'll also take care of you guys as well.
Now,
So
how large is the company? Like, is it like where are the main offices? Like, how does that part of the business work?
So great question. Clover is our headquarters is here in Toronto in Mississauga, technically. Okay.
Okay.
In our office here, we have over 200 people at the office here in Canada. That said, though, we are a Fortune 250 company. We have over 25,000 employees worldwide. So we're in, about 17 different countries. We're all over the place. So
Wow.
we're one of those companies that sort of touches everything that people don't really know about, but we are everywhere. So we've got our big headquarters in Canada, though, to answer your questions, here in Toronto. And like I said, we're a massive company. It's just that we don't it's word of mouth with us here, right? We don't need to we have a great product that sells itself. So it's just a matter of just you guys connecting with us and we get you set up.
Amazing. I love that. Now, with people trying to get a hold of you, or the best way for people to reach out, what is the best way for them to reach out to you at Clover Nayeib?
So there's a couple different ways, and I'll definitely be sending to you via like email afterwards, so
Yep.
you can post it with the podcast. I'll have my work email available. For your
Amazing.
podcast, we're going to set up a special link. That way people can kind of click on that link and book themselves in with a quick 10-minute call. Like I said, it's important that we figure out your needs first. So that's one way as well too. I'll be sending you my LinkedIn profile as well too, the link, so they can click on that as well too. So whatever kind of works for you guys. And obviously, like I said, my email address as well. So between all that there and my work number, there's a bunch of different ways you can connect with me. It's just a matter of what works best for you. Like we'll work around your timing, your schedule. I know you guys are busy as business owners, so maybe you guys are always busy from like 8 to 6, right? So we work around your schedules as well.
Amazing. Yeah, I think there's a couple times I'm like, I'm not done work till whatever time, and you're like, we'll make it work. That's when you've helped take over the machine and got me up and running in no time at all.
Exactly. So like they always say, sales job is not it's an 8 to 8 job. So we're always available. You guys just let me know what kind of works for you. As long as we're organized with our scheduling, it's very easy to kind of work around your schedule for sure.
Amazing. Amazing. Do you have any final notes or anything people should take away from this episode today, Nayeib?
Yeah, so a couple things I would say is really I know you guys are running around all the time, but take a look at your statements, guys. Like, so for example, like even Nicole, if it's all right with you,
Yeah.
you didn't really take a look at your statement when you just kind of signed up with them, right? And then it turns out, when we did some research, they're charging almost 4x the market rate, the previous company you were with, right? So it's one of those things, and you're a sharp businesswoman, you've been all over the place, but people don't really think about payment processing, right? There's a ton of money to be saved on the back end with a better solution. So my takeaway would be, you guys, whenever you guys have 10, 15 minutes, just either do it yourselves or give me a call, and let's just kind of go over and just see if there's anywhere we can kind of put some money back into your bank account, right? So there's money to be saved here, guys, and with a better solution, and just take a little bit of time to figure it out.
Oh, and I felt like that was the other thing. It's just looking at how much, like in my mind, we trained a lot of our clients for Interact instead of having to do with Visa and MasterCard and all those things. But yeah, knowing what we were paying per transaction as well was just mind-blowing when we actually sat down and broke the numbers down together. So yeah, I highly recommend Clover. That's obviously why we have you on here, Nayeib. I've had the best experience, and yeah, I tell everybody, even clients coming in, they're raving about the new machine, how smooth the cashing in and cashing out with both Clover and Cojilio. Even when we set it up, I was like, okay, this is too easy. When we were starting to link them together with the payment processing, even the barcoding too, all of my girls and staff and as well as clients are loving it. So that's why we had to have you on.
I appreciate it. So thank you very much for having me on. Like I said, I'll send you all my contact information so you can post it with the podcast. And guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free just to shoot me an email or give me a call, and we'll definitely help you guys out as well. Okay.
Amazing. Thanks so much, and I appreciate having you on today.
No worries, Nicole. Have a great day. Okay.
Okay, we'll chat soon. Bye.
Bye.